Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of The Talk Shack. It's great that you're here with us. Before we get started, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you who supported our first episode. I was not expecting the views we got, and they're only growing, so I'm really looking forward to what we're going to be able to do as we go along. Today we're going to be talking about the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the controversy over filling her seat and where we line up and our take on some of her most controversial decisions. Ruth Bader Ginsburg died Friday at the age of 87 due to complications of
metastatic pancreatic cancer.
Thank you. Obviously, we disagree with a lot of her decisions while on the Supreme Court, but her passing is definitely disheartening, and she is going to have a long-lasting impact, whether good or bad. That all depends on where you fall on the spectrum. And she deserves to be mourned. I mean, anytime someone dies, it's a sad time. All joking aside, it does stink. Our prayers go out to her family and all her loved ones. I'm sure they're going through a hard time. But, before we get into that, before we get into the controversy surrounding it, we're just going to get into some of her, most famous, cases?
Some of her cases, some of the ones she lost her dissents.
Yeah.
We'll just talk about a couple of the major landmark decisions of her career.
So, obviously, since she passed, a lot of people have come out on Twitter and have reacted to it. We got one from Miss Hillary Clinton. She says, Justice Ginsburg paved the way for so many women, including me. There will never be another like her. Thank you, RBG. Hey, Hillary, I just have a question. How does it feel to know that you'll never be president? I just want to get that out there. You know what? I'm done. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, all jokes aside, though, this is a serious topic.
Yeah, this is serious. Anyways, so RBG, she called for reducing the age of consent for sexual acts to people who are less than 12 years old.
Honestly, I don't even know how to respond. Exactly. Some of these things that she stands for.
I still have COVID, by the way.
Of course you do.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
2 weeks, man. 2 weeks.
Yeah, quarantine. She wrote that the Mann Act, which punishes those who engage in interstate sex traffic of women and girls, is offensive.
I don't see how that's offensive, but
it's not
to each his own.
Yeah.
What else we got?
She objected to laws against prostitution because prostitution is a consensual act between adults.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the feminist movement, right? Freedom. Yeah. Women, do whatever they want. Doesn't matter.
She called for the sex integration of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. I actually remember that. I remember when that was going on. That was... No.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason there's Boy Scouts and there's a reason there's Girl Scouts, right? Boys and girls are very different. Boys, in the name, Boy Scout.
Really?
Right? Yeah. And
is there science behind this? Biology?
I mean, only for thousands of years, yeah. Up until the last couple.
Hey, DJ Redbeard. How about you stop coughing, bro?
Oh, dude, that's all right. I'm going to pull out my audio.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
He's going to pull
Clearly, Seth's COVID has spread to DJ Redbeard.
Oh, yeah. Literally, this is like ground zero right now. It's bad. No, I'm kidding. We don't have COVID. No one, freak out. Let's see. Oh, this is a big one. She claimed that taxpayer-funded abortion should be a constitutional right.
Yeah, so I mean, when we're talking about the Supreme Court, right, they determine what is and what is not constitutional, right? They're reading into that. And do you see that anywhere in the Constitution, that taxpayers should be paying for abortion? Because I don't see it anywhere, but maybe I'm just missing something.
Yeah, you're missing it. It's in there.
Okay.
Just have you read the full Constitution?
You know. I've read the entire thing, and it's in there. It's actually in there. No, it's not. So.
Really? You guys actually took the time to do that?
Hey, ad man. You don't talk unless... we got the mics.
Yeah, do you
we
have a
do the
microphone
talking,
over there? No.
okay? You're sitting in the chair in the corner. You're punished right now because you skipped on the first episode.
Look at the wall.
Yeah, actually, I don't even want to look at your face right now. Gosh.
All right, so where were we?
I don't even... Oh, I mean, and the last thing I have is... not that. She called for the sex integration of prisons and reformatories.
I don't think we really need to talk
Yeah,
about that.
you know. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
What happens when you put male prisoners in with female prisoners, and the male prisoners don't have any fun time, and then they get access to women, and yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it there before we have the Talk Shack is considered a clean podcast, so we're not gonna cutting it right there.
Yeah, don't need to get into any of that.
No, yep, no more of that.
But yeah, as you can see, there's kind of a theme there. Pretty much everything that she voted for, we kind of disagree with for seemingly obvious reasons, right? Something called common sense.
Wait, what? That's a thing?
It's not so common anymore.
Oh. It's sad, man. It's sad.
It really
The
is.
state of the world right now just... Oh, it bugs me, dude. It bugs me. But you know what? It's fine. We're gonna continue on, man. We're gonna be doing this for an hour. So, do we want to get into the controversy now? Are we good to do? Or actually, no. Did you want to explain the some of her case?
Yeah.
Her
So
cases?
I mean, like you talked about a lot of different things that she stands for, some of those important issues and where she stands on those. So I just kind of looked into this one specific case. It was the Whole Women's Health versus Hellerstedt, the 2016 decision.
Yep.
And basically, a Texas omnibus abortion bill was struck down. And when you look at what that required, that bill, right?
Yep.
It was basically, the only requirement was that doctors and physicians at abortion clinics had admitting privileges at local hospitals. Does that seem unreasonable to you?
I don't know what we're allowed to say about abortion, because like we're clearly against abortion, but like I don't want to offend people.
And we can talk about that in other episodes.
Yeah,
we
we're
can
not-
kind of give our rationale and our arguments for exactly why we believe that. But regardless of the moral issue here, whether or not it's okay, like you're just assuming that based on this, the doctors should basically be held to the same standard as any other doctor that's going to give you a surgery, right? That you would have admitting privileges at other hospitals that are local. Because what if something goes wrong, right? You also need to be up to date with the ambulance regulations. That was another thing in that bill. So I don't see why that's unreasonable that doctors at abortion clinics who are performing those surgeries have admitting privileges at other hospitals.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just one specific case we wanted to just throw in there, just so you have some context. So are we going to go into the filling the seat controversy right now?
We can go to Trev for a quick advertisement and then jump back into that, however you want to go.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I am the host.
You are the host,
I
yeah.
decide what happens. You're just the co-host. Yeah, we're going to do that actually. We're going to take a break, get a quick word from our ad guy, or what's his official... he has an official title now.
I think Cade, what's the official title?
I think he is the advertisement manager. I don't remember.
Special guy.
It was like
special
executive-
needs.
Executive advertisement manager.
Exactly.
AEM.
The
AEM.
EAM. He's
Or
the EAM.
The EAM.
EAM.
Yeah, you're the EAM.
If I
Quick
could
word from the
spell.
EAM from our sponsors, and we will be right back.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a great podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Thank you, Trevor, for those aids. I mean, I meant to say ads. Did I really just make an AIDS joke on the podcast?
I think you did. Sorry, Momo.
I'm so sorry for Trey's grandparents who are listening to this. I didn't.
You made an age joke on the
I
podcast.
just made an AIDS joke. But you know what? Forgive and forget, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna cut the jokes now. We're gonna try to, people, I'd imagine, come to maybe learn something. So we're gonna get into what we know. Ginsburg's death is the second closest death of a Supreme Court justice to an election ever, actually. I didn't even know that till we just, you know.
Apparently Roger Taney died 27 days before Lincoln was reelected in 1864. And he actually waited until after the reelection to appoint.
And this is where the controversy comes in. Trey, take it away.
Yeah, so we're going to try in this podcast to take you through two different arguments. The first is the one of the left, which is that Trump should wait until after the election, and whoever's elected should choose the next justice to fill that seat. And the second is that Trump, as the current sitting president, it's his job to fill that seat before the election. So
we have a clip. You want to play the clip?
Yeah, so we'll start with this Biden clip, and that'll basically show you where he's at. I mean, as the Democratic nominee for president, I think it's kind of important to know what he thinks about that.
Yep, definitely.
Not that he really does any thinking, but...
dude.
No jokes. No jokes. Back to the clip.
We're going to play the clip.
The people of this nation are choosing their future right now as they vote. To jam this nomination through the Senate is just an exercise in raw political power.
So those are Joe Biden's thoughts. He clearly is against Trump. Well, obviously is against Trump nominating someone to get on because, you know, kind of going against him right now. But
yeah, and I mean, we have this other quote from, was that 2016 when Biden was talking about this? So
yes,
we'll actually... We'll get into the controversy of 2016 when something somewhat similar happened. And obviously it was a much different result because of who was the Senate majority at the time. But we'll get into that right now, I guess. So
go ahead.
Yeah, Antonin Scalia died in February of 2016, and within the next month, Obama nominated Merrick Garland. At the time, the Republican majority Senate didn't even consider the nomination because it was during an election year. And eventually the nomination expired. And when Trump took office, he nominated Gorsuch, who is now sitting on the Supreme Court.
Yep, so, and he obviously replaced Scalia. Scalia? Right?
Scalia, I believe. I've actually never heard it. I just listened. Or I didn't listen.
Hey,
we're struggling a little bit tonight. This is, I guess we're pre-recording it, right? For,
yeah.
Release tomorrow.
Yep, late night, but hey, we're doing this for you. So... Trump actually said he wants to replace Ginsburg with a woman.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a big deal, right?
It's a huge deal.
For a lot of people who are saying, you know, Trump's just taking advantage of this death, using it as an opportunity. I mean, obviously...
Well, I mean, for those of you that don't know, Ginsburg was kind of like a pretty big figure in the feminist community. You know, women's rights, equality. She was like, would you say at the forefront? For a lot of these issues?
I mean, when she was in that position of power fighting for those issues, obviously, she's one of the key figures in that movement. So
we have a clip of Trump, you know, saying he's going to nominate a woman. So
we can just play that clip.
We're gonna play that.
Both the White House and the Senate majority have a moral duty to fulfill the promises they made to the voters, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We said that if for any reason we have a vacancy on the United States Supreme Court, we will fill that vacancy. I will be putting forth a nominee next week. It will be a woman.
So yeah, there you have it. Trump's nominating a woman, which I'm not against at all. If she's qualified, if she is the one for the job, I don't care if it's male, female, whatever other gender there is nowadays. There's like, what, 37? Okay, DJ Redbeard.
Bro, that's a big number that I do not want to get in trouble for messing up.
True. So. I'll take the flack. I'm going to say 37. Change my mind. I'm just kidding. Don't change my mind.
I'm going to stick with 2.
2?
Well, yeah.
What are you, science, biology? Get out of here, dude. That's not a thing anymore.
Facts don't matter.
Facts don't matter anymore. So actually, before we, explain this, I have some tweets from the Democratic left side. When they found out Trump was considering appointing someone in place of RBG. I always say RGB. What is RGB?
Robert Griffin.
Yeah, but he was a third.
RG3.
Yeah, that was RG3. But, I mean, it sounds so similar.
Yeah, Trevor.
It gets you in the
You don't
vibe.
have a mic, you don't talk. Okay? Dude?
We'll get him a mic eventually.
No, he doesn't rate a mic. Anyways, so the Democrats right now are like, hey man, stop saying we're intentionally setting fires. But then they come out and say stuff like this. If they even try to replace RBG, we burn the entire effing thing down.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's absolute insanity, right? You look at everything that's going on right now, and they just keep denying that it's happening. And then as soon as this thing comes up, even though Trump would be doing something that's in his power to do, and honestly, we think he should do it, they go and tweet stuff like this.
I mean, hey, we're just the relay.
At least somebody put effing.
Oh, no, they said the word.
They
used the word. I just,
We're a clean podcast, bro.
PG.
Do we have the bleep button?
No,
I'll say it. I'll say if we got the bleep button.
We don't have the bleep button
No
ready.
bleep button?
No
All right.
bleep button.
Sorry,
we
guys.
shouldn't need the bleep button.
No,
But anyway,
Grandma listens.
let's
Yeah,
get back
I
to it.
Yep.
We're
Keep me,
done
yeah,
joking.
this is why.
I'm struggling to keep you on track.
This
for
is
that.
why
I'm
I
struggling to
hired
stay
you
on
as my
track for that,
co-host,
but
because you knew this was going to happen.
I don't think I'm getting paid enough for that.
You're not getting paid anything, bro.
Exactly.
What? No, we're not talking about
didn't
pay.
tell
Right.
Kate-
We're live.
It's all right.
Sorry.
I mean, not really live, but
Whatever.
we're sticking with this. This is the
Yeah.
final cut. We're not doing this again.
You just ruined it.
I didn't just ruin it.
No, we're fine. Shut up. So, I don't even know how we get back from that.
We had the two arguments, right? So
Yes. Get us
the
back on track,
reason that they're
co-host.
upset
That's your job.
is back to that 2016 thing, right? So they believe that it's hypocritical of Republicans to say that now that it's under Trump and there's a Republican president,
I mean, it is kind of hypocritical, but
100% hypocritical. I agree.
it's 100%
but
hypocritical.
But you got to think about it like this. It's something that's so important that you want the right people in those positions, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you're the Republican Senate in 2016 and Trump is trying to replace a conservative judge who just died with someone who's going to be very liberal and vote, honestly, like against everything you believe in, pretty much. Because like we looked at some of the things that she voted on, Ginsburg.
Yeah.
And it's kind of important that we have people who are going to vote our
I mean, that's the
conscience.
only way to get stuff done.
Yeah. So, as those senators who are basically saying we're not even going to hear it, there's a reason for that because they want the right people in. There's some sort of moral obligation to put the right people in those positions. So, it's hypocritical, yes, but it's very understandable. And in the current situation, it's the same thing. Like, even though they did that in 2016, they're going to do everything they can to get someone who's going to fight for what they believe in.
Yeah, either side. Either side's going to do. Say the positions were reversed, it'd be the same exact thing.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you can get as upset as you want about it, but ultimately it would be the same thing the other way around. So.
Yep, exactly. So ultimately, that kind of wraps up our whole spiel on, Ginsburg, because Trump came out. The whole thing was, is Trump going to nominate someone before the election? He came out and said he was. So at this point, there's not really much for us to go on. We kind of explained everything that we know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll kind of see what happens
Yeah,
within the next couple days.
A lot of these issues are going to be us just, waiting for more information. See what comes next in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and we'll definitely address some things that we can be a little more definitive on.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's important that we're jumping on these current topics that are happening right now.
Oh, and I think we should, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what we're trying to do here.
Yep. Speaking of current topics, did you see that Nancy Pelosi finally condemned the violent rioting? Did you see that?
I did. Did she mention BLM or Antifa?
No, of course not, dude. They don't exist.
Then what violence is she talking about?
The mostly violent.
The mostly violent or the mostly peaceful?
Oh, you're right. It's mostly peaceful. Listen, so she had to cut her hair appointment short just so she could come out for these, peaceful protests. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, hey, guys, that's about all the time we have for today. This episode, I know, was all over the place. It's, almost 11 o'clock at night we're recording. Trevor's falling asleep on the chair. DJ Redbeard looks like he wants to rip my head off because I keep talking. And my co-host over here, you did a good job.
We're just having a good time.
Like I said in the first episode, this is the Talk Shack. Just a bunch of friends. COVID. Surrounded by COVID. No, I'm kidding. Again. I got some messages after the first episode that are like, oh my word, you sound like you have a cold. Did you get tested for COVID? I'm like, listen, it's fine. I don't have COVID. I'm saying it now. I don't have COVID. Okay, so we're going to wrap this episode up. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.